This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Mark Leibovit. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, July 14th, and no other day like it, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time to tune in on a Saturday morning. Those of you who are not familiar with who I am the publisher of VRTrader.com, also the Leibovit VRNewsletters.com goes to the same place. I've been doing this since 1979, believe it or not, and I'm still standing, so I consider myself somewhat of a survivor. But I also very much enjoy the business. I always view the business as the closest thing we have to a crystal ball in life, because you see where the money is flowing, new opportunities unfolding, where capital is going, new technologies, and so forth. So the future is really in the financial markets. I know it sounds a little capitalistic, but that's really the truth. Big breakthroughs in all areas come because capital is moving in that direction, allows it to happen. So this is our crystal ball, folks. We find out about new breakthroughs in drugs. We talk about cannabis and marijuana, because that has great health benefits. I also publish a letter by the same name, Cannabis Vice Letter, and we talk about gold. We talk about the overall equity markets. We talk about new technologies and anything that is basically tradable. Timer Digest has me now currently ranked the third timer in the United States. Sometimes I, fluctuate on that list, but just to be on it at all is great. I've been doing that for a number of years, and that says at least something we're doing is right. Not always going to be right, but right now the markets are in this position where you tend to get a bounce in the summer into the July time frame, whether it tops out today or the end of the month, and then you tend to pull back or zigzag into the fall. But that being said, the market is still a bull market. Donald Trump is still in charge. Great results because of that presidency, which, as you know, I very much have supported. And despite the fake news press out there, which is really unbelievable. In fact, I read an article yesterday. CNN was trying to get Facebook to drop InfoWars from being covered because they don't like that opinion. Well, if anyone needs to be dropped, it's CNN for their terribly biased coverage and their intent of trying to impeach a president which was duly elected. So we can talk about that on and on and on. I sort of view this show as my financial, political, spiritual, and even musical format, and I do it because I enjoy doing it. It's not that I make money or don't make money. It's just sort of fun. You meet a lot of people. You learn a lot of things, and if that's not something you like to listen to, then certainly you have plenty of other choices. And we're going to have a bunch of interesting guests for you today, as we try to do on the program. We're trying to get Jim Rohr back on the show again. He was on last week. We'll try to get him on more regularly. He's really a senior member of our timing community. I look up to him because, he's in his late 80s, and he's still doing this all these years, and he, too, is a survivor. I'm closer to the 70 category, but, I hope to make it to his level at some point and stay healthy and be able to continue to do that. Some of the great legends of our business, getting off on a tangent a little bit, like the Jim Dines of the world, and the Joe Granvilles of the world and the Dow Theory forecast publisher. All these fellows, way on in their years, have moved on, and some have passed away, of course, but worked till the very end. So I think that's what the business really does to you. It keeps you going. On our roster today will be our good friend Sinclair later in the program. Hope to have Henry Weingarten join us, along with Harry Boxer and Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com during the program as well. I'd like to talk a little bit about the news this week that came across the tape regarding the cannabis sector. There's a company called Zogenix, ticker symbol ZGNX. Stocks really run up here this week because they had a positive phase 3 study with regard to a drug they created called ZX008, which is beneficial to the Dravet, D-R-A-V-E-T syndrome. Those of you who follow my newsletter and follow what's been going on in this sector, the big name out there has been GW Pharmaceutical, GWPH, which is really a blue chip in the cannabis sector. We do have it on our recommended list, and I trade it all the time. It's a very volatile stock. It's trading right now around the $151 level. It's been as high as the mid-160s, as low as $31 in the last couple of years. Actually got down there a couple of times. Meanwhile, the ZGNX ran up because it sort of competes with what GWPH is doing. But the difference, as far as I can ascertain, is dramatic. GW is using a cannabis plant, a marijuana plant, and ZGNX has created a synthetic, whatever you want to call it, it's a formula that basically, creates a similar result. I'm very much against drugs, and I've been for my entire life. I take no medicines. Maybe occasionally I'm told I should take a blood pressure pill or something like that. But as you know, the side effects of drugs. The potential side effects of drugs. You hear it on TV every night when you're watching television. Oh, this is a great drug, but and this is something you should do. And about 10 seconds into the commercial, you get a 50-second dissertation about how this drug could kill you or make you deadly ill in some way. Marijuana doesn't do that. And I have a lot of anecdotal stories to tell, and the powers that be out there are not really pushing for it, but though politically and financial forces are now sort of changing that, it's slow. But I would not be a proponent of ZGNX, and even though it may have great results, I'd rather go for the cannabinoid product, because I feel like the worst case, it's not going to hurt you. What's going on right now out there, as you probably also know, and I have some personal experience with this, is that the opioid addiction that's out so pervasive, which is killing many of our youngsters and even older folks around the country, and also the heroin addicts that are all pervasive all over the country. I see them when I'm driving through LA, see them on the streets, on and on and on. And one of the cures that is now being proposed and actually is in action is high doses of marijuana. Basically get the patient high, get them distracted from the opioids and the heroin, and that gets them potentially to detox and to move on with their lives. And the downside of the marijuana is almost zero. Maybe you get a little high or you go to sleep a lot. Maybe you're sleeping 22 out of 24 hours a day, but that really has helped. In fact, the state of Pennsylvania in the last couple of 3 weeks, I think I mentioned this on the show last week, passed a law that basically said that using marijuana for opioid addiction is now legal in that state. And I know in California they're starting to use it. I'm out there quite a bit, and I see that being employed. So, this is something that's really, really important. So when I see ZGNX making a breakthrough, no disparaging comment about the company, but I'd rather see a cannabis marijuana substitute, which I believe will have greater effects. Now, we're not even talking about CBD, which is widely being marketed, which also has significant benefits. And if you go on the internet, you can just read about them. If we had time on the show, I can read 20, 30 reasons why you should consider CBD. But CBD is cannabinoidal, and it doesn't include the THC component of marijuana, which makes people high. We can talk about more of this at another time in more detail, because we only have a few seconds left on this segment. And we hope to join our good friends Don VIALOUX, Harry Boxer, Henry Weingarten, and others during the program. Don't touch your dial. You're listening to Wall Street Raw.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to My Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long-distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Our homegrown small business tries to help people just like us. That's why we design and test our handmade products with great care before we introduce them to the public. You can easily find Sunny Bay heating pads on Amazon. Just go to Amazon.com and search for Sunny Bay heating pads.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Healthcare reform is confusing. With the loss of the Obamacare mandate, those needing help can now choose an affordable alternative. By joining Liberty HealthShare, you're part of a community of health-conscious Americans all over the country who control their own healthcare costs and choices. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of their medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
With uncertain times in the United States, it's only prudent to consider storing precious metals in a safe place outside of our borders. At Miles Franklin Limited, we have done just that for you. Partnered with the most respected storage company in the industry, Miles Franklin Limited is proud to offer the only fully insured private safe deposit box system in North America, held in Vancouver and Toronto. Send us your previously purchased precious metals or have one of our brokers help you purchase something new. Questions? Please call one of our experienced brokers at 866-485-4346. Solid foundational storage partnered with the most respected name in security. That's Miles Franklin Limited. Celebrating our 29th year in business without ever receiving a customer complaint. Call us at 866-485-4346. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Miles Franklin Limited, a name you can trust.
Get the ultimate knife at an ultimate price. The Fox Karambit knife. Finally available in the U.S. The Fox Karambit knife opens with one hand, faster than you can pull a handgun. For utility, for defense, and for way less than other knives of this caliber. Go to theultimateknife.com. Truly the best knife you will ever own, and only available at theultimateknife.com. Use promo code radio at checkout for free shipping. Get the ultimate knife at the ultimate price at theultimateknife.com.
Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. It's Saturday, July 14th, and excited that you've tuned in again on this Saturday morning. And we have our good friend Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca joining us again this Saturday morning. Don, off air, I was talking a little bit about the cannabis sector, and if you don't mind, I'm sort of dwell on that initially, and then we'll get into your high points. But it is related to Canada, and there's an article that appeared in Forbes this past week about basically claiming that the Canadian companies are way overvalued and extended, and they draw some examples. They say no other industry could have a company like Canopy Growth. For those of you who are not familiar, Canopy is sort of the blue chip name in Canada, the biggest company up there. So according to the article, they have a $4.9 billion valuation, which according to the Forbes article is more than 98 times its reported lifetime revenue of $46.8 million. Aurora, which is the other big name in Canada, Aurora Cannabis, the valuation they claim in the article is 220 times its reported lifetime revenue, and these valuations are not even being driven by current or even near-term projected revenue, but by speculation that these Canadian companies will eventually dominate the global industry. So I sort of put you on the spot here a little bit, Don. What's your gut feeling? Are these guys right on, or is this just a typical Wall Street jibber-jabber?
Interesting. The charts do not say what the article is saying. The best way of measuring that is an ETF in Canada, symbol is HMMJ. Mm-hmm. And since the middle of April, it's established an upward trend. It actually has gone up about 20%. So we have a positive technical trend for the marijuana stocks in general. So don't give up yet.
Okay, all right. That's sort of my feeling. There's for those of you who are not familiar with the legalization in Canada for recreational use was supposed to start July 1st, and then it got delayed. I believe it's now out to September, October, Don. Is that correct?
Yes, October 17th is the magic date.
Okay, so a little bit of a sideways action or pullback during the summer would be expected as those are waiting at that time, and there's going to be a nice buy point if it already hasn't occurred. So I think that's part and parcel to any indigestion you might be seeing in those stocks. So that's just my 2 cents, Don. So let's see what happens there. But meanwhile, let's talk about what's really happening out there. The summer rally, which you successfully predicted, calling for this move into July, is well underway. What's the read on that now? How far and how long do we go?
Summer rally is continuing. Last week, the S&P 500 is up about 1.4%. On Friday, it got above the 2,800 level, which is very encouraging. Dow Jones was even stronger. It was up about 1.9% last week. NASDAQ, 1.8% to an all-time high. And even the Toronto market was up about 1.1% last week. So we're into the summer rally, which typically happens at this time of year. Unfortunately, the reason for this is because of anticipation of second quarter results, and they're going to be very, very strong. Consensus is S&P 500 earnings will be up about 20% year over year. Now, word of caution there, we've seen some good results so far from the S&P 500 companies, but on Friday we saw the results from some of the big banks in the United States. The results were pretty spectacular, except for Wells Fargo. The implication is that stocks are selling off on good news, implying there's a bit of concern as we go farther into the summer period.
Right. Well, Wells Fargo has definitely been a subject of this program. If you've been listening, as I'm sure you have, our good friend Sinclair has been talking about that company for the last couple of years, but no surprises there, Don.
Yeah, the key is that the banks seem to be selling off on news. Now, you get a lot more news on the banks next week when the real start of the second quarter earnings report season comes along. Next week, we're probably going to see about 60 to 70 S&P 500 companies come out focusing on banks and on technology companies. So stay tuned. The problem is what happens after July the 18th, both in Canada and the United States. Historically, that's when both markets have reached a seasonal peak. After that, markets tend to come under profit-taking pressures after a release of strong second quarter results. On average, during the last 20 years, the S&P 500 from July the 18th to the middle of October has dropped 3.7%. Toronto market, very similar. It's dropped an average of 3.0%. So good news until the middle of next week. Then on average, that tends to be a peak for both U.S. and Canadian equity markets.
Meanwhile, the TSX broke into new all-time highs here, beating the Dow Industrials. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been very encouraging up here to see the Canadian market moving higher. Actually, it's been partially helped by those marijuana stocks, but that's another story. In the States, there's been another sector which has been doing very, very well. We mentioned this last week, the biotech sector. That sector continues to boom higher. Examples, IBB, which is the NASDAQ Biotech ETF. It's up about 1.7% last week. BBH, another one of these biotech ETFs, up almost 2%. And another one by First Trust is up about 2.1%. And similar to that is FBT. So the biotech sector still seems to be running on a seasonal high and continues to move higher.
Speaking of seasonality, I can't help but bring up the gold market subject. We should be hitting some type of low point here in July for a trade, shouldn't we?
It's been fascinating because what actually happened in the case of the Canadian gold ETF, it broke out 2 weeks ago on the upside. And last week it took a rest, came back down into the trading range. Historically, the period of seasonal strength for gold stocks on both sides of the border is it starts moving higher right around the third week in July and moves higher right through until approximately the first week in October. So it's been interesting because in a sense we've been hoping for a little bit of a pullback so that we can enter into the seasonal trade, which starts about 10 days from now.
Right. So it's playing in really nicely with the possible high point that you're calling for in the equity markets. But as we know, we've been doing this a long time, they don't always work inversely, do they?
They don't always work all the time, but the key is that the way things are forming this year, the trends are certainly there in your favor. So stay tuned. We'll keep you in tune on what's going to happen with the precious metal sector in general.
Okay, well, we're certainly going to do that, and we're going to have our good friend Don VIALOUX back with us next week. If you want more information about what he does, go to equityclock.com or timingthemarket.ca, both fabulous websites if particularly you're interested in the cyclical picture, which you should be in the major markets and individual stocks. So, Don, thank you for joining us, and we'll have you on back next week, and we'll see if the market peaks out. Take care.
Thank you, Mark.
Don't touch your dial. We're going to be back after the break with our good friend, Henry Weingarten.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
Have you had credit challenges, divorce, bankruptcy, or just haven't established your credit yet? If so, getting a decent car loan can be tough. The good news is that there is a place where you can get a car loan at a fair price, regardless of your credit situation. Auto Loan Express can make it happen now when you visit newcar99.com. Here's the deal. If you have a regular job, then there's no reason to keep taking the bus or repairing that old junker. Go to newcar99.com today and fill out our simple online application. We accept over 99% of applicants and can get you behind the wheel of your new car with just a few strokes of your keyboard. No hassles, no third degree. Just fill out the simple online application and start shopping for your next car. So when you're ready to get on the road with your new car loan, visit us online at newcar99.com, where we accept 99% of all applications. Newcar99.com. If you have a job, then you qualify. Here's to you and your new car. Visit newcar99.com. Newcar99.com.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. 800-667-9035. That's 800-667-9035.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-261-9818 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-261-9818. Again, 800-261-9818.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. It's Saturday, July 14th, and happy you decided to tune in, and we've had a great show up to this point. Many of you have questioned why you're listening to excerpts from my favorite movie, The Ten Commandments, at the beginning of segment 3. Well, part of it is because I'm a bit religious, but also because of what we've seen happen in Wall Street here in the last several decades. And the commandments you're listening to talk about keeping us honest and straightforward. And I do believe there is no freedom without the law. And we've seen so much of the law violated. And one of the classic examples, we had banking stocks come out with some earnings reports on Friday. But one of the notorious culprits in this sector has been Wells Fargo, which we've been writing and talking about here for the last couple of years. Frankly, that company should have been shut down and the principals put in jail for for what they did, and that the list is like so long. It's pages of accusations and actual events that really bear merit there. So we try to keep honest in a dishonest world, so to speak. You got when money's at stake. I saw when I was a floor trader many years ago on the CBOE. So part of the reason that you're hearing that is because I believe that you can make money, but you can do it honestly and being straightforward. And if you're going to do something a little questionable, disclose it. Tell people what you're doing, and they can decide if they want to do business with you or not, but certainly don't hide it. Meanwhile, we're going to jump to our very special guest, Henry Weingarten, who is going to be taking off the next few weeks to Hong Kong, so we're going to miss him when he's gone, but meanwhile he's here. Henry produces the afund.com blog and is also the manager of the Astrologers Fund and does more things than astrology. Henry, thank you again for joining us.
My pleasure. Well, as you know, we're on vacation, so we have two thoughts. The first is don't look down. And the second is, markets can go a lot higher, even though they've hit our zones. I mean, effectively, when NASDAQ got to 7,800, when basically the S&P got to 2,800, you could protect it if you want to, but the thing is they're going to be going higher. We plan on selling either when the trade war is won or ahead of October, because Trump has a good horoscope, especially in September. So basically, we're staying long. So we basically have a couple of positions that we're just keeping. One is we're long the market. Second, we're long gold. That's sort of a hedge, but 1240 is pretty good support. Maybe it goes to 1200, but it really doesn't matter. There's buying going on, and it's a good intermediate long-term hold. We're short the bonds because that's logical, and we're short Bitcoin. So those basic things, long market, gold, short bonds, and Bitcoin just keeps making money. Those hedges, and we added a new hedge. One is copper, because copper is going to do very well in the next 18 months. So these numbers that we're getting in July are just wonderful. And if you're a long-term player, you just want to buy and hold it. So copper is definitely well undervalued. And we've that hedge, which is a little risky with oil, which at 73, 50, 74, we went short. It's in the money. We might cover it at 68 because that's about 65 to 68 is where it belongs. But nonetheless, long copper, short oil. And basically, markets are a little expensive, no question about it. They could go down, as your previous speaker mentioned. But on the other hand, there can be a massive rally when we win the trade war, which might be after the midterm elections, might be for.
Okay. Well, the comment that made by Don was more of a seasonal pattern for a little trading top due around the third week of July. So you're saying that things could stay possibly strong through September, which is contrary to the normal cyclical pattern. And you're doing your own work, of course, so it could be different.
But on the other hand, it's as we did before when we got this high in NASDAQ and the S&P, you could cover it, but we can go higher. The Dow, I wouldn't. The Dow certainly will go higher, but the NASDAQ and the S&Ps are expensive, and there's nothing wrong with writing calls if you're conservative. There's nothing wrong with raising cash, but there's also no need to. I don't think.
Okay. Is there a particular play you have in the copper sector? Is there any particular stock, any particular play you would...
Well, I'm just thinking the futures because, when we're under 3, it's just absurd. So we did a whole bunch of buys there when it broke it. So to me, almost any copper play, except I don't like Freeport. I don't like the Indonesian situation, so I wouldn't pick up Freeport. We tend to take the higher risk parts of the portfolio, so we're doing like little baby small caps. But... there's nothing specific per se, but I don't even know if there's a copper ETF, but if there was, you could buy it. I don't know if there is one.
Yeah, there is a copper ETF. I think it's JJC. I better double check before I say that. But there is a play on copper specific.
That would be the easiest one because again, it's so absurd. Under 3, we have a target of 350 to 370 within 18 months, and we're about at 285. Under 290, we're playing around. It's just absurd numbers. Now, it's based on the trade situation because people, and the point is we're going to win the war. So it doesn't matter which way the midterm elections go. You obviously want to be well protected in the months before, and both for seasonal reasons and the midterm scariness. But afterwards, it's off to the races in the U.S., it's off to the races in Hong Kong, and it's off to the races in China, and it's off to the races now. The eclipse. Interesting. We have a big eclipse coming up on the 27th. And not only is it good for the U.S., but it's good for Russia. So you're going to see some very interesting things on the...
Is it a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse?
Well, it's the blood moon eclipse. the longest of the century. And basically, it's going to be good for the U.S., and it's going to be good for Russia rebuilding relationships. So this is very interesting, because on Friday, Mueller, basically indicted 11 Russian Secret Service guys, for this sort of nonsense that we do all the time, interfering in elections. But the point is, it's going to change, and it's very interesting because the eclipse is on the 27th. It's in effect now, and Trump's going to be meeting with him next week, with Putin. So that's going to be a big shift.
So we should buy a Russian ETF, perhaps?
Perhaps. I mean, I haven't looked at them. I haven't checked where the ruble is, but it's something definitely to look at, because over time, he's going to be doing better.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining us, Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. If you want more information, go to afund.com, and hope to have you back next week, Henry. You'll still be in town, right?
Absolutely. We have our conference next week, so I'll be here.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
On the line, we have our good friend Harry Boxer. Harry's been patiently waiting to jump on board here. Harry, sorry to keep you waiting. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. I always love waiting for you.
Okay. Harry is the author of, the creator of the blog, thetechtrader.com, and he's a good pal. Been doing this for a long time. I think we've both been doing it too long, and always enjoy having you. Harry, we're going to run into a break in about a minute, so let's do what we can, and maybe if you can hang around, we'll continue after the break. So, what's your pleasure? What's moving?
Well, I'm still enamored with some of the biotechs that we follow. On the day trade today, VIALOUX 1130 up 475, 75% gain. We were in at 7 and change earlier. Galmed, another beautiful biotech that I love, popped this morning. We got in earlier around 1380. It's trading 15.5. We got some pretty good day trades going on. Zogenix, yet another biotech, popped across 57.5. We took a day trade on it. It's now 62.10. It's just, if you trade them right, and you can catch the tech and biotech stocks, we've had a lot of success today in swing trading those puppies.
Okay, and we have the markets moving. Dow rallying up 100 points.
Here's my concern, Mark. I'm concerned. I've been concerned for 2 days. We're making higher highs, we're making historic highs, and yet there's 2 days in a row with terrible breadth. You know that the Dow is up 85 and the advanced declines are only 15 to 13, and on NASDAQ, 15 to 13 negative.
Harry, let's finish after the break. We're running into a break. Harry Boxer from thetechtrader.com. Don't touch your dial. We'll be right back on Wall Street Raw.
You are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at ReadyToEatBacon.com. ReadyToEatBacon.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw here on the Saturday, July 14th, and we ran into a break, so we couldn't finish with Harry Boxer, who's kind enough to stay with us for another couple of minutes. Harry publishes the TechTrader.com if you want a free trial and sign up. That's available, 2-week free trial, TheTechTrader.com. Harry, just before the break, you're telling us that you're starting to see some divergences, and it's bothering you a little bit about the market.
It's bothering me a lot. I mean, this is 2 days in a row the market's been up. The technicals are weak. Even today, for example, up-down volume in New York is 6-5 negative. On NASDAQ, it's similar, 5-3. 5-4 is negative. Up-down volume, advanced declines are negative by 130 issues on NASDAQ and only positive by a couple hundred issues on New York. This is I always call it non-confirming technicals. So a market that's moved up like that, I think, potentially, after the run-up we've had, we are ripe for a pullback. And as much as 75 points or so, and they NASDAQ 120 or 30 points on the S&P. That's what I think we could see before we resume, if we resume the uptrend. And it better start to get improvement in technicals. The other problem is Netflix is down 13 today. And as far as the underlying, Apple's only flat. It wasn't for Amazon up another 14. And Google up 7. I'm not sure how long the market will actually be. But some of our biotechs continue to perform. Zencor, XNCR is up about 15 points from where I gave a swing on it already. And some of our biotechs are great. I just invite everybody to come to my site to see what we're doing. Check out my list of swing trades and day trades. And 2 weeks free. No credit card.
Thank you. No credit card needed. TheTechTrader.com. Thank you, Harry. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a great trading day. Thank you.
Right.
On the line is our good friend Sinclair No from KFN and 1510 Phoenix, and author of the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com. Sinclair, thank you for joining us again on this Saturday morning.
Mark, always a pleasure.
Okay, so a lot going on out there. We just heard from two technical analysts on the show today that were, A, getting some divergences, and B, we could be hitting a cyclical trading peak sometime between now and July. I think the 18th is what Don said, and then I heard from Henry something really unusual. He says there's a big eclipse coming up around the 27th, and that could affect the market. So we could be running possibly into a little trading top. But what Henry pointed out, you weren't on the air at that moment listening, but he thinks that Russia might be a play based on his analysis, and now we got Trump meeting with Putin. So I'm going to start looking at those Russian ETFs, Sinclair, and see if there's any technical basis for that opinion.
Well, go there if you want to. There is some seasonality in the U.S. markets, though. Right around the 4th of July, the day before, the day after, the first trading day of July, typically is a pretty solid trading session. We've got earnings season just getting underway right now. This past Friday, we had some of the big banks reporting earnings. We had a few other big names, PepsiCo, Delta Airlines this past week, just ramping up, and the earnings season is expected to be extremely strong, to the tune of 20% EPS growth compared to a year ago. I mean, that's just phenomenal. Question is, what's going to happen as these CEOs are reporting their earnings? Are they going to meet or beat those expectations? And then, even more important, what's the forward guidance? Are they going to be saying that they're starting to feel some pricing pressure through the supply chain because of these tariffs that have already gone into effect or that have been threatened? If so, how much? We'll start to measure how much that might be. There's a real good chance, yes, that we could see a downturn in the second half of June. As we work through earnings season, it's kind of buy the rumor, sell the news situation.
Right.
And once we hear these numbers come in and the guidance moving forward, is it going to be better than what we've seen in the first and second quarters, which, remember, have been outstanding earnings reporting seasons? First and second quarter has been phenomenal. I can't imagine how you think you can beat that moving forward. And I don't think many companies are. So I think we're going to start hearing some guidance that is a little bit on the disappointing side. I think we're going to hear some earnings reports that don't quite live up to expectations. Good, solid, but not quite up to expectations. And then as we work our way through this, it's like, okay, what's ahead of us? We just made it through the two best quarterly earnings reporting seasons that we could have had. What next? A little bit of a letdown.
Well, during the week, Bloomberg reported that, the U.S. and China have raised their prospects of restarting a conversation. The way Trump operates, come out with a strong opinion, possibly real negative, and then you use that as a point of negotiation. We could find out that this trade war may not happen, or we could back off from our position. Suddenly the Dow's up 1,000 points, so we got to watch the tape here. It could really be wild.
It could be extremely wild. We could see some extreme volatility, but even while it's going on with China, he didn't make any friends over in Europe at the NATO conference. He's not making any friends in the UK. And who knows what's going to happen with Russia? I have no clue. Sometimes you say that there's a method to this.
Right.
I'm not necessarily seeing the method. Certainly wasn't the case in North Korea. That turned out to be a big flop. So we'll see what happens with these other things. Meanwhile, he's not making many friends. I can tell you that. Not on the international stage.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about what's going on internationally here. We heard in the terms of the debt that we still seem to be experiencing. I read a piece that was in eatthebankers.com this week that the world debt rose by the largest margin in two years. It was during the first quarter of 2018 growing by $8 trillion during the first 3 months of the year. And the International Finance Report, the Institute of International Finance reports that global debt has now risen to $247 trillion. You must have an opinion about that, Sinclair.
I think it's a little bit too high.
Okay. Okay, I assumed you were going to go there. But what do we do about it? What do we do about it? Or can we ever do anything about it? That's really the story, right?
Well, typically what happens when debt gets too high, you know what happens when debt gets too high.
We have a crash.
We have a crash. Sure, that's how you handle it.
And we're long overdue for one. They've been warning us for a long time. But we are climbing that wall of worry, Sinclair. So maybe the world debt's got to go to $300 trillion, not $247 or even higher.
Look, I don't consider the global debt as a specific indicator that something is going to happen. Yeah, when it gets too high, it's problematic. No question about that. But exactly what is the level where it reaches that problem phase? Is it 300% of the world's gross domestic product? Well, if so, we've already passed that. Is it 400% of the world's gross domestic product? I don't know. Is it 327%? I don't know. So we can't just time something out according to that. However, the concern for the U.S. economy is that the debt is increasing at the same time the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates, meaning it's going to be more expensive to repay all of that debt, and the deficit just keeps growing. The U.S. debt and deficit continue to grow. The tax cuts are not bringing in more revenue for the government at this point. Maybe down the road they will when growth starts to kick in. If growth doesn't kick in, it was just a big debt burden added.
Well, the old story here, we will know in the fullness of time, right? That we're not going to be able to figure this one out. The tape is going to tell us. And Sinclair, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix, and author of the incomparable blog EatTheBankers.com. Folks, go to EatTheBankers.com. Great stuff there. I read it and use it every day. Sinclair, have a great weekend. Thank you again for joining us.
Mark, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, folks, great show for you today. We've got a little insight into the cyclical picture. We got a little insight into the cannabis picture. And as we always do, we close our show with what our old friend Ed Hart used to say on that great financial news network from the 1980s when he said, as we say, we will know in the fullness of time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to WallStreetRawRadio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw Report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw Report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw Reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you, too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.